The Doherty Drive Extension is a proposed road construction project currently in the design stage. It is shown here in orange on this simplified map. The idea is to extend Heritage Oaks Boulevard to the east and extend Doherty Drive to the south till they meet. The people have spoken out against the road at several city council meetings over the last couple of years. I'm going to briefly summarize their comments and show you some short video extracts from their presentations. As you can see, people who turned out to make their voices heard were overwhelmingly against the new road. And based on the petitions that have been signed, it is fair to say that each person who spoke was speaking for a large number of fellow residents. Clearly, feelings are very strong against the road. Let's look at the kinds of things the citizens feel strongly about. They're very concerned about increased traffic, waste of tax dollars, increased flooding risk, school safety, degradation of the natural environment, legal and ethical issues, risk of crime, and decrease in home values. Let me elaborate a bit on these points. Almost everyone was concerned about traffic. One reason is that Minton Road traffic is so heavy, and it's going to get worse because of all the development that's going on. So the new road will get a lot of cut-through traffic from Minton, which will be dumped onto Henry Avenue. But Henry already has traffic issues of its own. These concerns about traffic have been confirmed by the traffic study that was done and by observations of residents, including a highly experienced law enforcement officer. It's a well-known fact that the flood risk is increasing in this area due to changing weather patterns and all the development that's going on. And yet another paved surface can only result in more runoff during storms. So people ask what is going to happen if there's another Hurricane Irma. Will the new road cause flooding in areas that were near flood level last time? People are also concerned about the impact on school safety. School crossings along Heritage Oaks and Henry Avenue are going to have more traffic on them, and some of this will be the cut-through traffic from Minton. It is a well-documented fact, has been verified by citizen observations, that cut-through drivers tend to speed and have more accidents. Many residents are unhappy that the natural feel of some of these neighborhoods will be lost because so many beautiful trees will have to be destroyed. Some residents were not made aware of the plan to build the road prior to purchasing their homes and would not have bought the homes if they had known about it. Also, some questions have been raised about conflict of interest on the part of decision makers and the individuals providing technical advice about the road. Finally, it has been stated that the news about the planned construction of the road is already having an impact on home sales. So those are the main issues that people have expressed concern about. Let's listen to some of the comments now.
I don't know if you've ever been out trying to pull off on Henry from my street on a 5 o'clock or 8 o'clock. Sometimes I sit there literally, no lie, for 7-8 minutes trying to get out of my own street. If you open up that road and let all those Heritage Oaks people kind of cut through, it's going to create even more of a mess out there. And I live there, so I see it regularly. How many accidents occur?
Here's an example of the problem she mentioned. Traffic on Henry can block access to up to 5 side streets.
I'm opposed, actually, to the extension of the road. First, I'm concerned about the additional traffic that would be driving through Heritage Oaks Boulevard. By creating the second exit or entrance from our neighborhood, we are inviting others who do not live in the neighborhood access to the road as a shortcut from Minton. I fear that the cars speeding through the safe streets and more traffic on Henry, and the people who live off of Henry, they already have difficulty getting in and out of their subdivision, and this is just going to create more traffic. I've been on Henry and had to stop several miles away just to get off of Hollywood. Along with the increased traffic comes the safety of our children. Many children walk or ride their bikes to school, and with this second exit or entrance, you're going to have more traffic, and let's face it, children don't always watch crossing the street. We're going to have to get more security guards or crossing guards. And I just feel even for child abductions, it's an easier way to come in and out, and people don't see that they've snuck in the other way.
Also, we had the study, the traffic study was done. I think that a very good job was done with that. And I think if you all paid attention, one of the things that came out was the benefit to the greater community is negligible, if any. He projected about, what was it, 3 to 5 minutes, I think, going up Minton and over to Henry. For the normal traffic flow, if they cut through, maybe you save a minute, maybe you don't. So the only real potential benefit is to the residents of Heritage Oaks. And that will potentially save me maybe 5 minutes on my drive, maybe. And that is the maximum potential for anyone, I'm it. My preference 100 times over would be to keep the trees, to keep our quiet neighborhood, to keep the reduced traffic flow through Heritage Oaks. I would take the extra 5 minutes to drive every time over all those problems. So when I look at the total kind of benefit versus cost, the benefit potential that I see is, a few hundred residents of these communities have the potential to save about 5 minutes. And it's only potential because, as we know, there will be traffic diverted from the other roads. I think he mentioned, up to about 20% of traffic could divert because as he said, there really is no benefit as far as time saved. What he didn't consider is, we know that Minton Road does back up. People get mad, they get frustrated. I see every day people pull through the post office parking lot, not because it saves time. A lot of times the light turns green, they actually end up taking longer pulling through that post office parking lot than if they just stayed put. It happens every day. The same thing will happen with Heritage Oaks. People will get frustrated, they will pull off regardless of whether it's going to save them any time or not. So then you've got frustrated, impatient drivers now going through Heritage Oaks, going through our neighborhoods where our kids are riding their bikes home from school.
In summary, the people have spoken with remarkable clarity. They overwhelmingly oppose the project because they see it as a big expenditure of taxpayer dollars for very little benefit, and they have concerns, legitimate concerns, that it will have a bad impact on traffic conditions, flooding, school safety, the natural feel of the neighborhood, and so on. In short, the people have voted no.